So we had the delight of casting Nuke between Hellraisers and Epsilon. It didn't go the way that Hellraisers had planned. They ended up losing 16-10, and it could have been a whole lot worse. It wasn't the best of performances. So, Launders going into map number 2. Epsilon, if they win either of these two, knock Hellraisers out the entire tournament. A team that I think a lot of people would have had down as a dark horse, maybe.
Yeah, quite incredible, and I think there's a good chance of it happening, which is the crazier part, I think. I mean, Hellraisers really wanted to just guarantee a map, and I think that's why they picked Nuke. So, I mean, it's got to be a brutal shock to them to find out that they lost it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's the way in which they actually lost that was so demoralizing, I guess. But while we're waiting for map number 2, guys, if you check out the G2A contest, you can win yourself a wide selection of prizes. It's just below here, g2a.com/DHOpen, and you can get yourself some sick prizes. So go for that before we get into map number 2 between these two teams. Now, predictions. I think you said that you actually favor Epsilon to take this now 2-0.
Did I make that prediction? I think at this moment,
Mirage.
I'm going to go with it. Yeah, I'll say, yeah, I think I have some, I mean, it's Epsilon's map pick, obviously. Yep. They are picking it versus Hellraisers. No slouches on Mirage, but honestly, like, you know, you mentioned that Oscar's performance on Nuke was a little bit lackluster. I mean, given the benefit of the doubt of, you know, getting used to the angles and so on, but credit to Draken, right? He played extremely well with the op. Both sides got picks and had high impact. So, I mean, if he's in beast mode, I mean, he's obviously one of the players to watch for both of us on Epsilon.
Yeah.
If he can continue to have that impact, I do have a lot of faith in Epsilon as a whole team.
I feel like him and Disco Doplin are typically the two players that you want to watch out for in Epsilon, the two movers on that team, and especially in maps like Mirage, I feel Draken in particular could be an animal on both sides, because he showed, and this is something a lot of AWPers will struggle with, he showed the capability to AWP both in an aggressive style on the T side, but also in a passive style on the CT side.
Right.
So he can kind of do it all, which is going to be a terrifying prospect for Hellraisers to face off against.
I once did an interview with Guardian, and I asked him, you know, people call you a passive opper, right? And you know, is that true, or is that just a myth? And he said, well, there's no such thing as a passive opper or an aggressive opper. They're just good oppers and bad oppers.
Right.
And good oppers know when to be passive and know how to be aggressive when they need to be. And so, yeah, just the hallmark of a good opper, I suppose. Just know when to and how to keep that pace.
And Draken certainly knew that, but Mirage, a whole different ball game. And Hellraisers, I feel this is definitely going to lend more to Oscar performing than Nuke. I feel Nuke just kind of hamstrings him somewhat. He can't really tee off in the ways that you'd like him to do so.
Yeah.
I think Mirage will definitely allow him to step back up again and start to deliver, but I'm also looking at Sticko. Sticko needs to be there for Hellraisers, in my opinion, especially on maps like Mirage. If he's absent, then I can see this being 2-0 fairly easily.
Played quite well yesterday as well.
Yeah.
So I'd certainly agree.
So, Mirage coming up next. Hellraisers going a couple months ago, honestly, with Oscar performing really well at DreamHack Tours, they had a pretty solid showing as well. You're thinking, okay, this is their moment now. Similar to what happened with All Tempo Storm, now of course Immortals, where they started to shift towards the top sort of level.
Yeah.
But they've never seemed to really be able to reach that. You know, they've been reaching out for the brass rings, but just never really caught on.
Yeah, I think the thing is that they've got so much young talent. I mean, they've got Angel as more of a rock than anything else, right? The only remaining member of Hellraisers from the original lineup. And a couple of players in Stiko and Zero who are quite young and very good and solid players, but young nonetheless. And then Oscar, who's got a lot more experience and has just become an amazing player in the last couple of years. And I think overall, it might take just a little bit more time for them to grow to that consistency, but I don't see too many holes in what they have going for them. I can only see experience benefiting them more and more as the days go on. Like having, you know, maybe a player who has had a career and is maybe starting to cool off, it only gets worse for them if they don't start to see results quickly. But with players like Stiko and Zero, they're going to be hungry for a very long time, right? Bondic as well came from, moved laterally from another team that was doing quite well and is probably very hungry to prove himself and show that it was maybe his team holding him back or a new atmosphere that is the thing that he needed.
Last time these two teams faced off against each other on Mirage was at Gfinity, and it was 16-12 to Hellraisers, 16-14, pardon me, actually, to Hellraisers. That was a couple months ago. But ladies and gents, make some noise. Epsilon are going to be moving into the second map, 1-0 in the lead, looking to close this off as soon as possible. and move themselves into the semi-finals. What's nuts to me is we could potentially have 3 Swedish teams in the semi-finals still, which is pretty awesome on Swedish soil, of course. Has gone to a bit of a deadlock. Hellraisers looking to maybe pull the trigger, but decide against that decision. They still have 2 in the form of Oscar and also Angel, who are lurking around mid. They want to try and get into connector, but they have to deal with Draken, who's long-ranging the USP. Gets picked off from Oscar. This could now give the green light to just push straight through connector. There's a player on short, though, that's trying to deal with him. I think manages to scamper his way in. That was Disco Doppler. And now the site will be planted on.
As soon as that window player went down, they just pulled the pin. Now they've got the full split on. They've got every choke point covered. Doppler, though, is trying to make a case for this. Gets the first kill on window. That allows Zealous to move in.
Kit and Smoke in the hands of Rez. Zealous coming through jungle. Player to his left. He knows there's at least 1 here, and there's actually 2. It's going to be Angel and Sticko that put down the hammer once again. Freddy with his USP got the drop on 1 player, but not able to convert. In doing so, he falls down, and Hellraisers do what they couldn't do on Nuke, and that's win the first pistol.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good how much time they took to get in place. I mean, Hellraisers just had so much control. They just played the after plant perfectly. They had players in CT, they had a player A ramp, they had a player Palace, 1 in window. They had every choke point pushed all the way to an angle where, you know, the block is most effective, right? Close range. So if anyone would turn a corner, they should have easily taken the head off of them. And Epsilon showed them the respect that they earned. Took their time, but couldn't make it happen.
Angel with the risky play, especially with an AK as well. If that Deagle had landed, it could have been horrible for Hellraisers. In fairness, it's gone terribly elsewhere. The CZ ripping through Hellraisers members. Oscar's the next to fall. Now it's all on Angel. They know he was last seen around mid. Probably realized they dinked him as well.
Should you ever see that many players running through with smoke versus the eco? I wonder like how that smoke bloomed or why it was that there were so many dead bodies in the front of it, but it seemed like a liability for them. A CZ on the other side, a player coming through, not knowing what angle to look at, and then just getting clotheslined.
And this really would be one of the worst ways to start for Hellraisers, after getting battered and bruised on your choice of map, to then win the pistol and lose the subsequent force buy. I mean, that is just a kick to the plums, in all honesty. Angel, I'm going to try and rectify that issue. Bomb, as you can see, dropped out towards ramp, which is a horrible place to try and reclaim it. To be honest, Angel's not going to get close. I say that, but Disco whiffs a couple of shots. It's on the 3rd time. Tap on the shoulder. It's like, all right, mate. All right.
Runs the distraction, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what more is there to say? They completely blew it. 4 players alive. I mean, there's no worse way to start. I mean, winning the pistol, like, yeah, they get the round on the board, but giving up all of their AKs already. They gave up 3 AKs on that round. You know, this is a round where you could get away with having majority SMGs, and they gave away, and they went and bought 3 AKs to like guarantee their victory, and then still just got raffle stomped.
That's it, though, isn't it? We always say about what's the balance between AKs and SMGs in these sort of situations, and they went for that heavy investment, and it's completely backfired. You can see 3 AKs in the hands of Epsilon now.
Actually, it was Optic. I think they do 5 SMG buys. They don't even buy a single rifle. And they say SMGs are overpowered. You know, you have people buying UMPs on rifle rounds.
Yeah.
So that means versus pistols, they should be just as apt. And that way you don't give away a gun that could potentially get your teammate killed, let alone 3.
And now this just quickly escalates Epsilon into very comfortable territory. Can Hellraisers return the favor with a pistol buy up? Deagle's Tech 9. Oscar's he's begging to see a millimeter of player stick up so he can take it down again. Rez tried his hand, and with the flash, Oscar will retreat for now. In the meanwhile, Sticko up in ladder room, tapping across with the Deagles, not going to land anything either. So there's a lot of aggression, but not a lot of success from Hellraisers, and the bomb's now been dropped at the feet of Disco Doppler, who gets picked up from Oscar, but he can't even afford to just dart across because Draken is there with his AK-47. And 18 seconds now left on the timer. All Freddy has to do is whittle down this time. He's actually fallen out, though. So it was looking good for Hellraisers, and then I noticed where the bomb was. Get wrecked.
Yeah, no options now. They've actually, oh my gosh, they don't even have time to go die. So they get nothing on this round. They don't get any loss bonus. They didn't even have time to go die before the time ran out.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's actually what they wanted to do, and they couldn't do that.
And with 2 players having no funds, does this force the rest of the team into a force buy then?
It's potentially, but they're really in an awkward spot, right? They could just play the round out as is, not spend any money, and then on the following round have 3 rifles, right? 1 player with armor. Maybe recycle the armor 1 more time. That'd be the best case scenario, but unlikely.
Draken, double kills for him with the M4. Angel trying to get his eagle aim on point. Not today. Bomb by itself. It's going to be Oscar. Dead man walking. Second smoke will come down. All that's going to do is delay him a little while longer. And meanwhile, Draken is getting information, pushing up mid. You can see that Hellraisers maybe going to try and sell a fake with these flashbangs in the hands of Zero, but judging from the position of Rez, I believe that is, I don't think he's going to budge an inch. This round is pretty much done and dusted for Hellraisers. It's going to take some crazy one-taps in the field, and well, Bondik is on the receiving end of a one-tap. Zero selling the fake. Oh, actually, Rez has darted away. Still has eyes on the B-apps, and that's going to give up the strat from Oscar.
Knows he won't be afforded to plan in that situation, and man, I start to wonder, just because of that previous round, if Hellraisers are already on tilt, right? You know, the comms certainly weren't all there. Everything wasn't working smoothly if they got into that such an awkward situation so quickly. Are going to have this rifle round to work with. Okay, so it turns out a Galil, at least in the hands of Zero, and then Bondik is going to be the man to take the L, buy a smoke, and grab a deagle.
Especially painful considering Hellraisers are a team that like to go for the AWP whenever they can. So this also stops Oscar from having an AWP, which is pretty significant. Heavy mid-presence from Epsilon. 4 players around the area, 1 on short, the rest in mid, but they're getting wrecked off Sicko. We said he needed to turn up, but there's Rez with 2 of his own frags. He's going to be in the firing squad, but gets a 3rd. Crazy individual performance from Rez, knocking down Hellraisers to just Bondik, and unfortunately, he has a deagle and now an AK to play with, but not much else.
Notable proficiency with that AK.
True. But 3 separate angles to cover. He at least has the bomb. Doesn't even want to throw a smoke or a flash at this point to give his position away. Draken misses the AWP uncharacteristically for him. But Rez, who starts the round blisteringly strong for Epsilon, finishes it as well, full circle. I think he picked up 4 kills that round.
Yeah, 4 total. Fantastic performance. Ultimately, it lied in the setup that allowed them to have such an easy route to victory. But both the teammates that were up against the wall ended up dying to Stiko, I think. So Rez bailed them out in a big way. Now, the fact that they had so many outs is what's to be highlighted, however. Hellraisers going mid there wasn't actually that favorable considering their utility. And I think them obviously not realizing that Epsilon were going to pay so much attention to it.
Getting into that territory now for Hellraisers where they're just going for broke. It's a desperation charge, in effect, just trying to work off their aim. The strategic play hasn't worked for them. Bomb planted. Kills coming down though for Epsilon. That HE has damage written all over. It's going to bank off the wall. Lands next to Bondik. That did about 70 damage worth. Unreal. Angel, CZ. Their mission really in this round was to get a bomb plant, and that has came to fruition.
Oh, what a shot!
On to 0.
Damn. Watch me whip.
Oh,
that was tight. Damn. Looked better from the 3rd person, I feel like. Didn't even see him turn.
I actually thought that Draken was a dead man, and that would be a 1v1 as well.
Had no idea. Look at this. Completely unaware. Bang.
See ya.
Oh, man. What a beast.
But Hellraisers have their first AWP. Let's see if Oscar can do anything with it. He is known for peeking B-apps. He likes to peek out of here, but he is going to be running in to Rez potentially. Smoke is out, and that pretty much stops Oscar from peeking. I feel like that might be something that Epsilon have noticed about Hellraisers, because instantly they smoked it, whereas before they hadn't really bothered.
You know what, though? They got into the site and lost that round handedly, even though they got that entry right away. That's pretty alarming. I mean, wow, this walk-up, it just, oh, wow. I haven't made a single noise, so Man and Apps can't call anything.
This is absolutely nuts.
They're going to spot the bomb, and oh, wow. Just take your time. Take your sweet time.
No one is going to look behind them at this point. Maybe a bit early with the first kill, but wanted to make sure that they had bomb control.
Oh, they had Doppelin actually split up, and now they have another out in the round.
It surprises me somewhat that they know the bomb is down and Doppelin's in perfect position, so why would you peek out a short? That's a gateway for Hellraisers to get back into this round.
Definitely.
But it looks like Disco Doppelin is going to dig them out of that hole they very nearly dug for themselves. 35 seconds, bomb is still in mid, although Epsilon don't have eyes on it anymore, so for all they know, the bomb has been picked up and is now maneuvering its way to the A side, which is why you're seeing such an over-rotation from Epsilon. Nice shot from Oscar. 2 plays 2. 15 seconds. Bondik has to make inroads towards B, and that's where he's going to find a CT adversary, which Oscar is going to try and flush out. All this good up has to do is land the shot, and that's probably going to be golden. There's not enough time for Oscar to get the bomb plant, and he just wants to make sure he holds on to the AWP. So very well played from Epsilon. Interesting strat to push 2 players up T-spawn like that.
Yeah, they walked all the way through. I mean, just called out the defaults, right? It could be very common for them to see or know that Hellraisers like to just have one lurking apps. Figured that this is one of the rounds. If you're going to go for like a mid default, then you have one person at A basically, and he's either in apps or A ramp, ready to walk out. And there's Doppelin getting that important frag. Oscar, if he jumped out a few moments earlier, which he pretty much had to, they could have maybe got that plant. He was ready to clear that angle, but I mean, really only had that info after the kill came out. Nice kill from Draken. Oh, another from Freddy B. Epsilon mean business right now.
The way Epsilon have been playing, how do you see them losing from this point? They have been on form. Everybody pull on their weight. Nuke was sublime. Their CT side has looked impenetrable. They've mixed their strats up as well, playing aggressive through ramp and palace.
Jeez.
And they're winning every single aim duel, it seems.
Yep.
There's just no positives at this point for Hellraisers. I mean, it's still early days. They can bounce back. We've seen crazy things happen. They line up for Zelos, and he's going to get either of those players. So maybe this clutch could inspire if Hellraisers can get it done. The shot rings out from Draken. The flash was too. This is suddenly perking up for Epsilon. For Hellraisers, pardon me, against Epsilon. Pushing 2 players through kitchen. Oscar misses that shot, but the Molotov will be forthcoming from Angel, who's picked up 3. He has been silenced. It's all on Oscar right here, right now. Beautiful first shot. And now he's going to turn his attention towards Freddy, although he doesn't quite know where he is. You can see Oscar spinning around. Goes for the peek. Oh, Freddy's missed his chance. That could cost him his life in the round now for Epsilon. He's going to be coming around the corner, but Oscar is making a move as well.
Wow.
And lands it. A 1v2 clutch for Hellraisers, and that could be the moment where they start to turn this back around in their favor.
Wow, you see how smart Oscar is. I mean, wow, he wasted no time there. And he knew he had to get that first frag. Really put himself in pretty much an awful position in any other circumstance, just because he knew he had to lock down that frag, walked all the way around the pillar. But man, he's just, he's too smart. He's too smart. And that's 2v5, man. That should never happen. I mean, we had players trickling into B. That was kind of awful from Epsilon, but it's tough. You want to highlight the players that are in the 2vx, right? But so many mistakes have to be made to make that possible.
I think for Hellraisers that they can hold on to is the fact that Epsilon have had so many close rounds. You can see now they're into 2 CZs. They're not into a strong buy. So Hellraisers have the opportunity now to break the economy. Freddy on the meanwhile. When we saw the second round come up for Epsilon, it was Freddy's hand with the CZ in a very similar position that started to turn the screw. So Hellraisers need to be very cognizant of that fact. Draken looking down into connector. Oscar jumps across. The perfect counter to that position, but he wasn't expecting Disco Doppelin and an M4 to be facing his way. And that pretty much mitigates all of what I was talking about before with these CZs. Now they're in such a good position. The make matters better for them. Freddy's went for the peak. He spotted 1 player in T-spawn. There's 38 seconds left, so limited to what Hellraisers can go for. And as soon as Angel shows himself in connector, that's pretty much going to signify what this aggression is going to be and where it's going to be coming from. Freddy goes out for the repeat, lands 1 frag. But that's going to be more than good enough for Epsilon. 23 seconds, Bondik has to go for broke. Wants to die. before time, if nothing else. And there's the first kill, looking to transfer the spray. And Epsilon will put him down. 2 CZs, the chance was there, but Hellraisers miss.
Yeah, that's the opportunity now for, or it was the opportunity for Hellraisers to grab a 2-for-1, right? To put Epsilon on a save. Indicative, very, very costly round. And actually, it's Hellraisers now who have to Glock save because, oh, that previous round came down to the 1v1 clutch or 1v2 clutch from Oscar.
That's the thing, isn't it?
There's so much on the table there for both teams.
The economy is so cruel to both teams. CS gods not looking favorably upon Hellraisers, it would seem so far. Disco Doppler, he's going to get glocked down from Oscar. So just as we were saying that they've just got glocked, suddenly they've got an AWP as well, and Sticko lands the no-scope. And another one as well onto Zelos. The bomb is going to get planted, and out of nowhere, a round that you didn't think Hellraisers had any chance at winning, they've got a bomb plant and they've taken 3 players with it. Yes, they're going to end up losing this round, but what the hell just happened?
I have no idea. No, the entries came out, but the cleanup was there. All I'm going to say is, good job. I mean, that was almost a Glock save win because they picked up the op somehow. They were able to get up a ramp. Maybe just a severe lack of counter nades early on.
They invested pretty much nothing into that round, and they yielded a bomb plant and 3 weapons. Again, though, I want to get hype. I want to believe in Hellraisers, but they're 8-2 behind, and we've seen them not be able to land a great deal of rifle rounds. They're trying to be a bit toothless when it comes to these scenarios. It's pretty much when they throw caution to the wind that you see Hellraisers getting the rounds and getting into winnable positions.
Yeah, that B rush, for example, on that force up, and then that round where they just ran up A ramp with their Glocks. Again, they're not going to be able to get away with that over and over again, but moving at a faster pace might be a little bit smarter for them. It just seems like it's working out better, and also Epsilon seem to be weaker to the more aggressive entries. The slower plays, we see Epsilon winning trades across the map, one at a time, no problem. There's Doppler to get the first one.
Oscar, this time using a different angle, as of course hopping across catwalk on short. This time going for the straight up peak and coming out second best. Let's go Doppler now, going to go for the re-peek. Towards connector. There is a player in underpass for Hellraisers. Also one Palace that has just been spotted out from Disco Doppler.
Oh, he hit him. Wow.
Yeah, you can see the blood just on the wall. So information gained. Zelos and Freddy B. And Freddy B again, all coming in with frags at Disco. Rounding things off, and Hellraisers.
Hit him with a fadeaway.
I mean, this is as dominant as a performance as I've seen from Epsilon. They are looking on a different level today.
I know, it's like, who is this team? Really haven't seen them play this well. And,
certainly not. We saw brief glimpses of it at DreamHack Tours, but not for this extended period of time. We saw maybe 5 or 6 rounds and they collapsed. 5 or 6 rounds, they collapsed.
Yeah.
This has been consistent, solid work from Epsilon. And you can't even say it's just one player carrying the weight. Everybody's been performing pretty well. Speaking of which, Oscar puts down Disco, who seemed caught in 2 minds as whether he wanted to go in or go out, and the indecision will cost him the worst possible way. Ooh, Oscar and Zero are going to get the drop, but Zero's going to get picked off. Is it a fake though? You see the bomb over on the B side, but Freddy with a beautiful frag onto Oscar leaves it with Bondic and Sticko. Sticko's going to pick up the weapon, which is the AWP. We saw him land some crazy no-scopes earlier from the perspective of Epsilon players.
Wow.
Nice shot from Rez. And he also manages to back away. I mean, that's as crisp as you like. Now puts the pressure on Bondic. He'd have loved a free frag after Rez opened up, but instead he's got a P250. It's a game of cat and mouse. And Rez sinks his fangs into Bondic.
Now again, another round where they don't have much to lose, and Hellraisers get more done than they do on their full-on rifle rounds. I mean, they were really close to being able to win that. Oscar picked up that op, and that's when, who knows what he's going to be able to do with it. But Freddy hit him with that sick pre-fire into ladder room, and that made the difference. Epsilon had to bail themselves out multiple times. They get away with it over and over again. And when all is said and done, the half's almost over. Wow.
Alrighty then.
Just rubbing it in.
That is full tilt mode engaged. Alright, boys, we've got ourselves a rifle round again. Let's push out of mids. You just get wrecked through straight up smoke. Disco Doppler with a second. Both kills going his way. Around 13. Unlucky, it would seem, for Hellraisers. You do have Oscar with the AWP, who's looking out of B-apps. The flashes and the smokes are connecting, and that's pretty much going to stop this charge for now. Oscar doesn't seem too deterred by that fact, and in actual fact, they're going to go out now. And this may catch Epsilon off guard, not expecting the push to come in just yet. The timing may be the favor of the T's, and Hellraisers, in the form of ZOWIE, will back the kill onto Disco Doppler. The assailant of the first 2 kills. ZOWIE with another one, but Rez is biding his time, waiting to strike.
Oh, they might actually be able to get a plant here. No, ZOWIE's too smart. So aware, gets a 3rd frag. 3 entries so far, and now it's 2v2.
It sure is. They have 2 flashes and incendiary to work with. ZOWIE spots an adversary on short, but Freddy is there onto Bondic. That leaves the very low ZOWIE with it all to do. And as valiantly as he battled for those first 3 kills, it was too much of an ask to get the last 2 as well.
B is definitely the weaker side. I mean, they're getting entries over and over again. They're not closing out the rounds, but they're seeing cracks in the defenses of Epsilon. They're just not able to break it open completely. I mean, getting the bomb down is one thing. It's allowed them to buy right here, but they've only got 2 rounds left that they can get.
That's the thing, they've noticed these cracks, but it's taken them 13, 14 rounds to get to that point, and now maybe playing the mind games with Epsilon, assuming that maybe Epsilon will put an extra player over on the B side. They're going to execute onto A instead. So now going to try and test out Epsilon here, but that's going to go right into Disco Doppler's hands.
They missed the CT smoke.
A second frag comes in, and that's unforgivable from Hellraisers, and they're going to get punished. If it lands Disco Doppler like he doesn't get either of those kills. It's unreal for Hellraisers to make a mistake of that magnitude right now.
They missed the jungle smoke as well?
Yeah, this is full tilt. It has to be.
Did they? I don't know. It looked like it was
looked
just...
like it might have been, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The CT definitely missed. That much is for sure.
You know Epsilon are talking about that. I mean, that's just awful. Look at this.
Look at the gap. Like, that should be covered from the smoke.
Oscar's not supposed to come up and see that. I mean, he's expecting it to be blocked off, and yet Doppler, FPL gods, up to 20-8 right now.
The thing as well, Disco Doppler, he's been playing multiple angles, multiple positions, Angel. Well,
that's something.
If the bullet didn't kill him, he definitely broke his neck on the way down. What a shot from Disco Doppler.
Jeez.
Nearly a second, but you can see he's feeling it.
Yeah.
He's got those twitch reactions on point. Freddy, isolated, up on the balcony. And finally, Hellraisers is showing something of worth, but in the 15th round, leaving it far too late. Yellows has 2 AWPs and a Galil to clutch against. Oscar is the first to fall, but this is where you assume that Hellraisers put the crossfire down and they have jungle locked out. Still a smoke for ZOWIE. Incendiary thrown. Unbeknownst, however, to Zelos, no one's home for Hellraisers, so that is wasted grenades, and Sticko finally gets around. It's nice to see they've still got a smile on their face.
Not sure why, to be honest.
Wow.
They're pretty close to going home.
I'm trying to see the positives, and Scumbag Wanders just smacks me back down to reality.
A really weird time to smile, I feel like.
That shot is nuts.
Oh my gosh, dropped the hammer on him. Strikes from above.
I guess you're right, though. Like, we're smiling at 3 rounds on Mirage.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. After being 1-0 down as well. But as long as the general mood is good, then Hellraisers maybe can claw it back inch by inch.
Yeah, but it's like how do you miss those smokes when you're in a good mental space, you know?
It's nuts to me.
On like a snap call to hit A, whenever it's like, you know what, cancel, let's hit A. Then, you know, maybe everyone gets set up too quickly, and then you line up something wrong. Like a smoke you've thrown a million times, but sometimes you throw it wrong. You know, it should never happen in a match, but it can.
I mean, they're
still,
only,
like, how does that happen?
They're only human, but it is the reason why you spend so many countless hours practicing, you know, those smokes, those set smokes.
Yeah.
And honestly, maybe Doppler still gets the first kill as he was boosted up on Toll Booth, but that second kill wouldn't have been coming more than likely.
No. I mean, if it was Oscar who threw that smoke, I mean, maybe he wouldn't be so tilted to come up A ramp and see it, but if it wasn't, I'd be so furious at my teammate, you know?
Yeah. Either way, Hellraisers on the CT side now have to dig deep and come out big. Angel with 2 huge frags, and there's Oscar as well. We saw we're still having a few issues with that at the major qualifiers, but Oscar, he's not going to miss any shots. Double headshot down. Draken on the opposite side of the map with an eagle, hoping that the Hellraisers member checks through connector.
Oh, you're talking about Ustilo?
Yeah, did you see the fail?
Yeah.
from Shadow. It was a little rough to watch.
Yeah.
I think it was the very first round of the day, though, in fairness to him.
Yeah.
Like the very first round of
Okay.
the entire tournament, so we'll let him off.
That's actually relevant.
Yeah. But Draken now, just really hoping that Hellraisers make mistakes more than anything else. All they have to do is hold the angles they have right now. I mean, this is pretty much perfect for a 4-on-1 with the bomb down where it is.
This would be really cool. I'll give him that.
Oh dear. 2 health left, and Angel's going to push him. USP frag lands, and Hellraisers will survive a little while longer.
I think Oscar almost smiled.
Nearly.
That actually gives me faith. And there it is.
Tasty fragging.
2 quick ones.
Force up from Epsilon. Of course, they are going to force it and get the bomb plant. They have so many rounds. Why the hell not? Max 7. And again, we're going to see a pretty rifle-centric buy from Hellraisers.
Epsilon bomb staged up at B2 at A ramp and a couple of smokes on both these players, so I assume they're going to... I don't know if they're going to actually smoke out CT or just the right side and maybe put some pressure on... Oh, not committing to it, however.
This is a fake.
Oh, they're going up connector. Okay.
I think this is a straight-up fake. They have 2 players wrapping themselves around now towards B-Apps, and the bomb is there. So this is a fake from Epsilon, albeit a fairly complex one.
Yeah.
On face value. Sticko with a max 7. Positions himself perfectly. Bomb dropped out. That grenade would have done serious damage, but Sticko, a one-man band, puts down the pain.
The fake ends up biting them in the ass because they just funneled so much money into Sticko.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have died. They did end up causing the rotates, and that was quite a complex fake. I mean, the smokes A ramp, bomb stage up at B, an underpass split to make it really look like it's going to be an A fake, and then the players at A not actually committing up A ramp. So quite interesting. I guess the one thing that makes it weird is the you might have a fast palace. This is a really good strat. I mean,
One flashbang to rule them all for Epsilon, but it is a complete collapse. To be fair, didn't really invest anything into the rounds. I'm not expecting a great deal out of it.
yeah, you just get one person at A ramp, throw a flash over, and then have 4 come up Palace. And Palace is so close to the bomb plant spot, like you're gonna drop out. So if you catch one player out, like CT for example, you almost always get the plant, but they didn't actually do it there. A lot of faith in that play though. Works most of the time for only the cost of 200. So something you can do when you don't have armor.
Good news for Hellraisers as well is not only have they started this round very well, but Sticko, because of those 3 max 7 frags, he's already up to about 8k. So it's easy rebuys for the foreseeable future. He can even drop as well if needs be. I assume that the likes of Oscar are in a similar position as well. So it's not like they're on the brink of collapse. That is the best way of mounting a comeback. That's only half the picture, though. You
Really
still
like
have
to
execute.
Yeah. I'd really like to see what the difference is between their Mirage and Cash play. I've definitely casted Epsilon games many times, but
Yep. I think we both have together a few times in SIVO.
That issue with them 5-manning yesterday, like everything on NIP, they look like a different team today. Again, new maps as well, though.
Yeah, I've been blown away by their progress over this last month to a month and a half. What's casting them? They've definitely stepped their game up.
Maybe they're looking around at their teammates and seeing, man, we got some pretty good players. Maybe we should stick
They
together.
do. Yeah.
Not just be another Swedish mix and actually try to get somewhere.
Oh, Sticko. This could play right into his favor, especially if no one checks him, but Freddy does. Finds himself the headshot. Murdering Sticko. Bomb now bare of CT presence. Zelos intelligently just hides in the window, waits for Oscar to go for the retreat and gets picked off. And this is looking good for Epsilon. Fair enough, Angel's on the site, but he's very low. It's not a great deal to play with from Hellraisers. They're just living on a prayer, and Rez is going to be putting them to rest. Rez has gone down, just on Bondic and Zero. Make it on Bondic, make it absolutely no one. Epsilon, after a chain of rounds from Hellraisers, giving them a bit of a lifeline, has been cut again. As I said, though, their economy is in a place where they can get a couple of solid rebuys.
Yeah. Yeah, there's at least that. I mean, the issue, I think, was they were leaving Sika over at B. He had the Mag 7 by himself and expected him to get, I don't know, a kill to stay alive. That's a much harder job to do with the Mag 7 than it would be with a rifle. Who knows what the spot he would have played with that was, but if he had any idea that it was going to be some type of B play, he would have almost certainly had a member on with him on Cat or someone with him in the site.
Oh no. This does worry me a tad for Hellraisers. They've gone for a double AWP setup, and this looks like it's going to be a full-on execute onto A. This is such a good counter against double AWPs. If you just smoke screen your way out, it's so hard to land anything.
And there's no one in CT. Yeah.
That kill from Zero, though, definitely could alleviate some of the pressure, and the fact that damage has been inflicted and res is down to 6, or down to 9, pardon me, is going to make this a little bit more difficult. Oscar up on the toll booth jump is going to be put down, and this is why the double AWP setup does struggle, because you have to put yourselves in positions that are very vulnerable to pre-fire. Res. Incendiary out onto CT. This is going to funnel Sticko away for now. Grenade comes through, only 15 damage. That looked like it would have absolutely wrecked Freddy, landed on his head. But the time is ticking down ever so quickly, and Hellraisers have to make a decision. Do we want to go for broke, or do we want to save these weapons? And if you're caught in decision, you are going to lose 14-6. And it just seemed to me that Hellraisers were caught in two minds for far too long.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. And again, that double AWP setup, as you mentioned, would have been super powerful against the default. But against this A hit, that ended up working out better, I think, than they expected, because they ended up having kills handed to them before they even had to throw smokes. So they had those smokes late to delay to delay the retake, excuse me. And then those ops rotating through CT, able to have no impact. Wow. And Oscar getting shut down one more time.
Yep. Not really having the impact that he'd hoped, but then again, really none of Hellraisers have. And in such a buy, they are looking for the information, the desperation moves. You see why Oscar went for the push with the AWP. And now Bondic has to try and retreat back to the triple box and see what he can get done, but he's being mollied everywhere he turns. So down to 36 already. What they're hoping for here is Sticko, like straight up. They're hoping that Sticko can get himself around the back of the terrorists in enough time to pick a couple players off, get a couple of cheeky backstabs. That's the only way they win this round for me. He should get the drop onto Draken, who's up in Palace. There we go. And now, what does he do from this position? He's going to look. Oh, he tried to lock his aim onto the second player who's on the stairs. That was a key frag, a key moment maybe in this entire matchup. Angel now caught between two players, has to just go right in. First headshot has connected. Does he have the time to get this clutch? Beautiful double. Oh, but he's cut it too short, I think. It's going to be so close.
I didn't actually see when it started getting too fast, but he's definitely got it here, so wow.
Nice, Angel.
That was pretty sick. And yeah, that was a good flank. They had delayed just enough. It seemed risky. It seemed like it could have gone the other way when he didn't get that second frag, but they made it work. Off the back of a clutch, of course. Great spray control. Then turning it into a second kill off that info. Nice.
Wow. That is slick play. He was on about 35 health as well, so second best in terms of health in that one-on-one at the end. Beautiful play. Thing is, though, again, there's no easy road back into this game for Hellraisers. It has to be flawless rounds, and it has to be back-to-back rounds as well. Zeros for Mass. Breaks the deadlock in round 22. Bondic and Shadow, good for one kill. Traded out straight away. Zero with a second. Sticko, hello. Was that a jump shot?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Draken got completely crushed. Running up on the balcony. He has the bomb just ahead of him. He does have eyes on that, but Hellraisers are actually moving away from this. They were starting to filter through mid.
They completely lost sight of the bomb, yeah.
Yeah. So now they've given Freddy a chance where really they should never have been one. I'm not saying he clutches from this position, but he now at least has a couple plays up his sleeve. That was, of course, until Zero just wrecked him with a FAMAS.
Yeah, there was potential there. I mean, they just gave it up completely. They wouldn't have evacuated A like that if they assumed that the bomb was by stairs. So again, HR still in this. Now the A takes aren't working. Hellraisers the entire time have been prepared for the slow default. So Epsilon back on the save is going to get Hellraisers, allow them to be a little bit more grounded, collect a bit of money. Like, not all 5 of them had the gun they wanted in a few rounds so far. Good nade. Oh my gosh, what a value nade right there.
Oh my god, and the spray afterwards from Angel. Sticko, good guy Sticko has his back, full house of kills, but that grenade, that must have done what, 150 to 200 damage?
Yeah, maybe more.
Oh my goodness. I want to see that replay. Here we go. Look how much damage this does. Crunch.
That's satisfying.
Jeez. And then the cleanup. Good round for Hellraisers. Not so good for Epsilon, but again, it was pretty much a throwaway round. They had nothing invested into that other than a couple P250s, maybe a few grenades. The Hellraisers now, suddenly, are back in this. Sticko's FAMAS, once again, he's going to get the first kill. Are they going to take a leaf out of the Book of Immortals and go super aggro mode like Phelps did and try and push down the apps? Because that seemed to pay off very well for him. And I think the answer is yes, Angel's going for this.
Yeah, but does Angel need to actually push out? I mean, I think now he has that info and took the risk and was rewarded. Also, we'll get a kill. Dragon gets the frag. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so hard to see. And now we have a player at top mid who can keep 2 players honest.
Think about how important that turn of events is. If Angel connects it,
oh no.
Not only is it a 4-on-2 now, but Draken doesn't get the kill on 0 because he's already a dead man. That changes everything. Angel's going to be livid with himself, and there's another missed opportunity from Oscar. Sticko, 40 seconds, try on 1v2. Try and make amends for the mistakes. And he's not going to be able to do it. Take nothing away from Draken though, another beautiful reaction headshot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Angel should never be missing that chance.
No, absolutely not. I mean, not only that, but I mean, if he had even just waited, I mean, like, he was able to get out and look for this frag, doesn't hit a bullet, and then gets destroyed. I think was really weird because he jumped out of apps instead of came out slowly and thought he would have been hurt, but Draken really only reacted to the shots and then, man, punished him in such a big way.
You hear the bullets whizzing past his head. I was like, hold on a second. Great shot, but
insane
that was Hellraiser's chance to bridge the gap that little bit more.
Angel just wallbanged him in the... Oh my gosh.
Also pushed through Palace. So Hellraisers seemingly want to go out fighting by playing aggressively. I like that, switching things up. The slow approach hasn't been really working, paying off for them. Oh, Sticko.
They're probably aware
he's heard movement as well. He's heard a lot of movement. He's going to bide his time and wait. First kill comes down, and there's going to be the second. Yes, it is Sticko. Beautiful play. Bomb dropped, and meanwhile, it's only Rez that remains with 10 health. Hellraisers get rewarded for some aggression. Then 0 to pick it up. Nice. I wonder if Angel is still thinking about that.
Yeah, going for that info seems to be a double-edged sword, and I think it's just teams taking a little bit too far sometimes. I mean, ultimately, he should get the frag, right? So it's hard to, go ahead and call that a bad play by any means, but to have B apps control, to just hold it, and then have teammates rotate over to A, just overstack the other site. That's all you really need to do to guarantee it. Maybe overstepping bounds.
Epsilon now face an eco. For how long is probably up to Hellraisers and how long they want to take before putting them out of their misery. 5-7, AK, every weapon pretty much used from Hellraisers. 15-11. Another throwaway round. It seems like Hellraisers do wake up, but it's just sort of 5-10 rounds too late. It's the same on Nuke as well.
Mm-hmm. Better late than never, but never late is better.
True. So, Hellraisers up against Epsilon, who have UMP in the battlefield from Draken. And this goes back to what you were talking about earlier, about UMPs being picked up, very much a viable choice. Whereas you used to see a lot of pistols in place of SMGs way back when. Pop flash from Angel.
Oh, he's actually found a corner where he could just hang out and avoid the Molotov. It even seemed like Angel lined that up to get perfect coverage. wasn't good enough. And off the underpass boost goes down to the UMP.
I don't know if you caught that, but I was actually looking at the camera screen. Angel looked to his left-hand side of one of his teammates as he was getting tagged. He wasn't even looking at his own screen.
Wow.
And then you saw him kind of spin around in panic mode when he realized he was getting tagged. I don't know if someone said, like, look over here, there's a player here or what, but that seems like a real lapse in communication.
This could be it. Bomb and B apps, and the opportunity for an op frag, but now they know there's an op at B. That's actually counting against Nico at this moment. Totally avoiding it now.
Epsilon here, the op rattle out on B side, decide A is a much better opportunity. That would be correct. Bondic with one, nearly a second. And now it falls to 2 AWPs. Both of them have chimed in for frags, and Hellraisers do manage to get the clutch.
Oh my gosh, they actually did a 5v3. Now the player under Balk was able to get 1 frag, and then we had Oscar get a frag on his own as somebody jumped over stairs to try to deal with him, got right in his face, and then Stiko with a rotate, the one that they tried to run away from, ends up getting the majority of the frags.
Wow. Exquisite AWPing. It was Bondic, the player in Shadow, that got the first one, and I think he also called there's another 2 players pushing. So that's when the information, the call, pays out dividends. And now Epsilon are into another recap. Their woes continue. Hellraisers bridging the gap faster and faster, and there is a value nade and a second one. The double dunk. Rez didn't know what hit him. Another grenade. So much nade damage is being inflicted, and why the hell not a 4th? The Zelos. 1v5. P250.
Don't even go there, Vince.
And a Deagle. You what, mate? One Zelos, get some kills. Okay. They're 1 down, 4 to go. He's got a minute. But now, Hellraisers are going to come out the woodwork. They're going to be firing in left, right, and center.
Look how much respect they're giving him.
Bondic. If Bondic dies, Zelos could just
you
run
push
straight
through,
to
yeah.
A. He could charge straight to A, and he's only going to have Oscar to contend with. I say only. Oscar's still a beast, but he's going to be playing the time.
Oh no!
He misses the chance. Thing is, though, Hellraisers, I mean, it was a 1v5 against the Deagle, and now this has got into dangerous territory. Oscar throws a lifeline out.
That was turning into such a cool play. He should have 100% got that kill on Cat, and then who knows what would have happened.
Onto short, that would have been nuts.
My gosh. That's he was just controlling rotation so beautifully there. You know,
really intelligent gameplay. Like, you could see exactly what he was trying to set up for himself.
Recognize that the choke points were being covered, but that they were just waiting for their teammates. It's like, hey, all right, you guys are split up. Let me go find one of you then, instead of plant the bomb and alert all of you.
This is the kind of moment where I'm sure Epsilon will start to feel it a little bit. You know, the nerves will be rattling off, but Draken is already out onto B. He did spot a player on short. I'm pretty sure misses the shot down to 2. Oscar, in the meanwhile, makes short work of Rez. And he's aware those small missed opportunities can really stack up against Epsilon. They've got 2 mollies still in play. They can toss one of those out into kitchen. Draken's patience is going to prove to be a virtue. Oscar finally went for the peak. Got himself killed.
Spotted on Cat. Bomb goes down.
Nice flash, but they're not following it up. Hellraisers need to be following up the lack of utility they have. And Draken goes for the no-scope, picked off from Angel. Can Angel get any more done? Disco Doppler round from the back. Lands the shot. It's all down to Bondic. He's been spotted and gets fragged. 16 to 13. Hellraisers will be bowing out of DreamHack Summer. Epsilon moved through 2-0. I don't think anyone saw this going down in a 2-0.
What an incredible upset performance from Epsilon.
Unreal.
Looking sturdy. Fantastic. And to take the map off of Hellraisers on Nuke to start it off and then move on to Mirage and just seal it up.
Where do Hellraisers go from here, man? Because that is disappointment after disappointment after disappointment.
Yeah.
They're losing matches that they really shouldn't be.
You know, the worst part is, like, some of those earlier rounds, it's like Hellraisers look like they've already beat themselves, right? The missed smoke, right? Some of these clutches lost, and then They move into the later rounds. They actually bring it so close. And here are the elated Epsilon, and for good reason.
The Swedes will be victorious in this best of 3, sending home Hellraisers. So, we have quite a few Swedish teams already setting themselves up in the semi-finals. I'm sure the crowd here is pretty happy about that. Later on, I think we have NIP playing. I think Godsent have already secured themselves a semi-final place after winning yesterday. So it's shaping up pretty nicely.
Yeah.
But Hellraisers, again, the nuke decision, sure, hindsight's always 2020, but they were comprehensively outclassed.
Definitely.
It wasn't even close. It could have been actually a lot more one-sided than 16-10.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I mean, they're both pistols. That helped a lot, but what can you say? I mean, Draken and Disco Doppler, I mean, 2 players to point out especially, just played so well. Like, out-opping Oscar, something you don't see every day. I mean, having high impact on their own. And then on top of that, like, their like 5-man strategies, they're pretty complex strategies sometimes, are very interesting. They were some new stuff that I've seen them use, that we've probably seen them use.
Yeah. Definitely. But that's enough from us. Smix has an interview on the stage. Take it away, Smix.
Thank you very much, Metas. I am joined with Krilla. We do have their manager here joining us. So first of all, prior to this match, I'm just curious, what was the team's mentality like? As that 2-0, that was in many people's eyes an upset there.
Yeah, but we felt really confident against Hellraisers. We played very well against NIP yesterday, in my opinion. Few mistakes that we lost the game, and then we played the Swedish Championship final after, where we played much better and gained some confidence to this day. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the team actually played really well even on Nuke, which was actually Hellraisers' pick. And that's actually interesting because we all saw how well Hellraisers did on Nuke actually at the major qualifier against Dignitas. But, I mean, you're smiling, so what do you have to say about that?
We just cracked Nuke once. So, yeah, it was a bit random. Excelos took that risk. But I mean, when you're playing a new map, you're getting a lot of positive energy, and so we just had fun, you know. And we noticed pretty early that Hellraisers didn't have that much. So when we had 5-6-0, we were confident that we were going to win the nuke. So.
And speaking of Epsilon, just in general, you guys as a team don't have that much LAN experience. I believe the last big LAN for you guys was the CEVO finals, and now you're here at DreamHack Summer. This is actually on Swedish soil, so I can't help but feel like a result here would mean that much more for you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a really young team, and we're here to hopefully get some fans for Epsilon. I mean, Godsent and NIP, they've been there for a long time. But this team, trust me, they will be there in the future, and this is the players you will see at the top.
And speaking of NIP, you do have a rematch coming up with them. So, I mean, you did say they put up a strong fight yesterday, but if they want to continue, they obviously need to win against NIP. So, how do you think the team's mindset is there?
We were talking about it yesterday, and we feel it's going to be so fun to play NIP today. As I said earlier, we had some mistakes, and I think if we're not doing that today, obviously it's going to be better, and I think we're ready for NIP. Obviously they're favorites, but everything can happen. Everything can happen.
All right, well, thank you so much, Krilla. We'll see how Epsilon does later today against NIP, but unfortunately for Hellraisers, they are out.
A round of applause from the Swedish crowd as Epsilon do move forward in this home tournament. Big stuff from them. Hellraisers fall. That's the second team gone. Ents and Hellraisers now thrown onto the pile of losers here at the DreamHack ZOWIE Open. It's of course for $100,000, and they're getting a step closer. This is good for Epsilon. Like we said, and actually like Sue said on the stage, they haven't got an abundance of experience. And this was a big win. Robin, you can look a little smug. You did predict that the Swedes would be picking it up, but not in that fashion, a 2-0.
No, I mean, I expected Epsilon to lose Nuke, but they were actually playing really well. You can see there. I mean, I actually haven't watched a lot of Nuke games on the new one, but the teams seem to run almost exactly the same as the old Nuke was played, which is kind of odd because you have a lot more options now on the terrorist side.
Well,
but yeah.
I mean, that will come with time, right?
Yeah, I mean, well.
You would think so.
It should. I mean, you see, when people were taking over ramp, for example, something that was missing for me, I feel like that people weren't using their nades early. that was the main thing about the old nuke, that you had to use them early to gain some map control and then hopefully maybe get a pick or two and then just hit a bomb site. Here, you saw more aim duels, and that only benefits the CTs. And I feel like Epsilon, as I was saying coming into it, it's not like they have bad players. They have two really good players, which we highlighted prior, Disco Doppler and Rekina. You know, they performed really well this series, and you really have to use the nades to gain some control and hopefully just gain that and go down and just hit a bomb site together. And that really didn't happen for Hellraisers.
We still haven't seen an example of a team that's drilled nuke to the point of mastering it. I mean, you're no stranger to nuke yourself when you guys kind of had that run on it, but I'm trying to understand like who's going to step up. I assume the major is going to be the debut of a really strategized nuke, because we've seen Dignitas have made wild claims that they're good at it and then conceded losses on it. Hellraisers are picking up wins on it and they barely know the callouts. He just said in an interview that we've played it once. Like when does nuke suddenly become like someone's favorite map?
After the major.
Okay, post major.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone or any team will be confident by the time the major comes around, or willing to take that risk at with so big stakes.
Well, that's the thing. That's what you should do, though.
Yeah, if you're an underdog, absolutely.
Yeah, it was the same thing when Cobblestone and Overpass came into play for that one major or the first major. You have to take a gamble, and sure, that was 2 maps coming into it. So some teams decided just to stick to one and veto the other. Now it's only 1 map. So for you to come in and be prepared on that map, that's just a free veto. Right, so it works both ways, and I think that during the major we will possibly see a lot more nuke being played. Sure, keep in mind you have the randomized there as well, but I actually do believe that there's going to be a lot of teams going to be practicing that map.
Yeah, I mean, it would make perfect sense when $1 million on the line, but of course, even here, $100,000, and it is being played for. Hellraisers take a seat and going to be forced to watch the rest from the back lines. Let's just quickly touch on Mirage as well. I do want to make sure that map doesn't go completely unnoticed. What was going so wrong for Hellraisers? Because that looked, especially for the opening there, it just looked like Epsilon were having a bit of a breeze.
Yeah, well, their CT side was large. Well, a lot of it was down to the fact that the Disco Doppler had a really, really, really strong CT side. Basically able to find 1 or 2 frags before Hellraisers had any sort of response pretty much at any given time. And obviously, if you get off to a start like that, you win the first half 12-3, you kind of set yourself up for victory already at that point.
Yeah.
So, just a very solid, nothing like out of the ordinary in terms of what they did as CT in terms of setups or that type of thing, but just in general, very, very, very solid individual play.
And I think that's going to be it. That's the closing thoughts. It's just kind of individual play from Epsilon gets them through. Hellraisers do once again crumble. We saw it at the offline qualifiers, and now you can see that they are gone. They're the second team to be eliminated alongside ENT. And now you have a little preview of the games coming up. We're going to be seeing some rematches. We see the Swedish affair all over again. That's coming up as our final game of the day, NIP versus Epsilon. And then on the other side of the bracket, Group A, our next game coming up will be the rematch between SK and Immortals. SK have already impressed us with 1 victory versus the Brazilians. Can they send them home, though, in a best of 3? That's where things could get a little dicey for the Danes. There's no doubt about it. Lots of Ds there, just like the double Ds that were performing for Epsilon. Big stuff from Disco Doppler and Draken. Right, we're going to take a break. As always, we're staying on schedule. It's about an hour's time before your next one, so you can go ahead and... Is the sun still out? Get some sunlight, I can say that.
Yeah.
Get some fresh air. That's a good way to cover it. So you guys do that, go take a quick break from your PC, and when you come back, we're going to have some more Counter-Strike for you. 2 more games, 2 best of 3s. NIP coming up a little later on as well. I wonder what the score will be for that one. Talking of the score, grab it. It's an app. Check it out. It's got a really, really great feature where you can follow all of your Counter-Strike and, of course, other games. League of Legends. Dota is there as well. That's got a big event going on at the moment over in Frankfurt. So maybe during the hour break, you go have a wander over there. Either way, we're going to take a quick break, guys, and it has been a fantastic adventure. Epsilon 2-0 victory, starting strong on Nuke, despite a little bit of let's just say a lack of preparation on Nuke, and then finishing the job over on Mirage. Big stuff from the individuals of Epsilon, and now they meet, well, their Swedish friends. It'll be NIP that meets them in our final game of the day. We'll see you next time, though, for SK going up against Immortals in just a moment.